Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock and it's time for another video, and today I'm doing another one of the 3 best trick series. If you haven't seen this series before, the idea is that I take a particular move, a particular genre, a particular type of trick, and I point out to you 3 tricks that there's a very good chance you haven't seen before. Now today I'm going to be doing 3 tricks with the pass. Now this has been one of the most requested videos for probably the last 6 to 12 months. So I'm finally getting around to doing it. And when I sat down to actually plan what I was going to put in here, I realized that I could probably put 1,000 tricks in here. So there might be a few more 3 tricks with a pass coming up that you haven't seen before. Now, for people that are new to Magic and that are finding this channel but are relatively new and you don't know what the pass is, I will quickly explain to you what the pass is. The pass, also known as a shift, is basically a way of secretly cutting the cards without the spectator knowing that you're cutting the cards. That's basically what it is. It's a way of secretly cutting the cards. Now, there's so many different techniques to do the pass. There's the classic pass, which is done sort of from a dealing grip. There's the riffle pass, which is called because you riffle the deck as you do the pass to provide cover. There's a top card cover pass, which is where you actually keep the top card in position. There's a turnover pass, which means you turn the deck over as you do the pass. There's a spread pass, so as you spread the cards, you're doing the pass. There's millions of them. My favorite type of pass is not a classic pass. My favorite type of pass is more of a midnight shift by Steve Drawn, and I tend to like to do it in the action of an all-round square up, and you'll see that in the performances. And because I play to a bigger audience a lot of the time, and my style is to project, doing the pass kind of up here and doing a slight body turn to the left works for me. This video is not about teaching you the pass. This video is talking about 3 tricks you can do with the pass. Now, typically, the pass is used to control the cards secretly. So you would have the card put in the deck, you would do the pass, and then the card's controlled, and it doesn't look like you've done anything. By the way, pet hate on that. One thing that I can't understand why people do is they put the card back in the deck, they do the pass, and then they go into a shuffle. Why would you shuffle the cards after you've done the pass? The point of the pass is to do a secret control of the card to the top of the deck. If you then shuffle the cards, there's an easier control you could have done. You don't need to do the pass, right? Anyway, with that being said, these 3 routines are not using the pass for a control. They're using the pass as part of the method for the trick. Okay, so and there's a lot of tricks out there with the pass, but a lot of them don't really require a pass. You can do it without a pass, but these 3 tricks, really, you couldn't do them without a pass. You need the pass in order to do them. So let's have a look at it. We're going to start off with trick number 1. Now, this is a trick that I was reminded about by Andy Smith from Alakazam Magic. He performed this trick, and I'd seen it years ago, and I was like, I used to do that years ago, and I'd completely forgotten about it. It must be my age. And I asked him where he learnt it from, and he said Magic Menu. And I've got all the Magic Menus, so that made sense. And I've spent the last couple of days going through and if you've got the volumes of the Magic Menu, you know how difficult a task this is. Literally going through every single part of the Magic Menu, trying to find this trick, and I can't. So if you know, in the comments down below, let me know. If you know who this trick is by, if you remember seeing it in the Magic Menu, please let me know. It's a really cool trick. It's fastidio. It's from a shuffled deck of cards in use. You have the cards shuffled. You can go into this anytime, anywhere, and it is a great moment of magic. It's a one-phase moment of magic that really is a bit of a head scratcher. It's a bit of a baffler, and you're gonna see why. Let's do a performance of this first of all, and then I'll talk about why it's so good. I'm here with Michael. Michael, it's really important that you give these cards a shuffle for me. Mix them up if you can. That would be good. And
I don't know how to shuffle cards.
You can't be as bad as Lou.
You work for Slightly Unusual and you can't shuffle cards.
No, not at all.
Okay, right. We're going to have to teach you because honestly, this is embarrassing for me, for you, and
Yeah,
for
it
everyone
is.
else watching.
Give him a break, right? It's only his 2nd week.
Yeah, true. Don't worry, I'll teach you. Right. Well, they're well shuffled, aren't they? I'm going to take out the 2 black kings. All right. And we'll put them to one side. I'm also going to take out some other cards, and the cards I'm taking out are going to become very important. I don't want you to see which cards I'm taking out, but I'm taking out some very specific cards for a very specific reason. I'm going to take out those and those. Now, don't look at what the cards are, but just give them a shuffle. That's called an overhand shuffle. You hold it to the sides and you shuffle them. There you go. There's your first lesson on shuffling. See, already that's a million times better than what you were doing before. Use your thumb to pull some more off. There you go. So just pull them off so you're not just clop. There you go. Look at that. You can shuffle. You're a wizard, Harry.
Basically a magician now.
You are basically a magician at this point. That's so exciting. And also, so put those cards that you shuffled there. We're going to put the kings on either side of them. So we've got a pack of... I know what the cards are there because I took them out, but I have no idea what order they're in because you put them into that particular order. With the rest of the cards, cut them into 2 piles. 2 approximately equal piles. Amazing. Thank you very much. And we're going to put these in the middle of the deck.
Okay.
So in other words, we have this whole deck here, and we've created a little stack of cards in between the kings, and you know where they are because we've marked them with the kings.
Yeah.
What you're going to do is you're going to take 3 cards out of that stack. Now, bearing in mind, you shuffle those cards, and no one knows what order they could be in. I want you to take 3 cards out. Just slide 3 cards towards you, but don't look at them. That one there, that one there, and that one there. Now, this trick is all about choices. Do you want to and it's totally your choice. Do you want to carry on, or I can put them back and we can get another 3, or we can keep them like this?
I'll choose these 3.
You definitely want those 3.
Yeah.
And you agree that you could have had any of these, right?
Yeah. It's fully my choice.
Let's have a look. So we've got a 10 of hearts. We've got a 10 of diamonds. And we've got a 3 of hearts. Now, they could have been anything. Could I have possibly known the 3 cards that you would have picked?
No.
Here's the interesting part. You shuffled these cards that went in between these kings, and I didn't actually tell you what was special about them, but I'll tell you. I took out a whole bunch of black cards, and I just left 3 cards inside there, which were the 3 cards that you picked out from that entire stack of black cards.
What?
And the question you're going to have to ask yourself later on is, from the packet that you shuffled, how were you able to get out the only 3 red cards?
Oh, shit.
How?
Oh, no, you did it, not me. Ask yourself. So, why do I love that routine so much? Well, first of all, it's very clear as to what's happening. You're taking a few cards out, they're shuffling the cards. It feels really fair. They have no idea what the cards are. You do, obviously, but they don't know the order of the cards. You don't know the order of the cards. Nobody knows the order of the cards. And they have a free choice of any 3 cards. There is no force at all. They can take any 3 cards that they want to. And when the shift is done, when the pass is done, there is absolutely no heat on the deck. In all honesty, you could probably cut the deck at that point, but I wouldn't advise it. I don't know if you'd get away with it. But there's no heat on the pass at that point because every single piece of attention and focus is on the cards being taken out, not on the rest of the deck, which is just fantastic. It's how you want the construction of a routine. Like I say, it's very, very clear. You saw me do the trick on the table, spreading the cards out on the table, but you don't have to. You can do it in the hands. You can do it up here in the hands. Absolutely, absolutely not a problem. And the other interesting thing is you've separated the red cards and the black cards at the end of the routine, which means that once the red cards and the black cards have been separated, you can pretend to just shuffle the cards back together. And in reality, you're doing full shuffles and full cuts. So it's a way of separating the cards, right? Keeping the cards separated in a very natural way. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, you might want to go into a routine that requires a red-black separation as part of the setup. For example, Neither Blind Nor Stupid by Quantamarites, or the classic version of Paul Curry's Out of This World, or something like that. You might want to go into something that involves the deck being separated red and black. So this allows you to do that whilst apparently shuffling the cards back together. And there's only one phase. Sometimes, and I'm guilty of this all of the time, sometimes you see a lot of tricks and it's like multi-phases and it's very muddled and there's so much going on. There's a certain enjoyable clarity to this trick. It's like, you're going to pick 3 cards, they're going to match. And they don't know why initially. They kind of go, well, okay, they're all red. But then they look at all the other cards and all the other ones are black. It's like, wow, okay, that's cool. So there you go. That's the first trick. It uses the pass that you've probably never seen before. I'd like you to let me know down below what if you know who's created it. I would love to know. But let's move on to number 2. So the second trick using the pass that you've probably never seen before is Smiling Mule by Walton. Now, I've spoken about Smiling Mule before with a memorized deck, because you can actually do Smiling Mule with a mem deck. And it makes it a little bit easier, to be honest, because you can do it face down, because you know where the cards are, you know the positions of the cards. You can do the move face down. However, you can very easily do the move face up. You can very easily, without too much problems, be able to do exactly the same thing, but with the cards face up. And what you're going to see now is you're going to see me doing Roy Walton's Smiling Mule with a shuffle deck of cards in use. And if you've not performed Smiling Mule before, it is a really fun trick. The first moment where you've got the gag, where the aces go in the middle and then they go to the outside, it's a really fun moment. It really is, and it always gets a kind of a groan, but in a good way. You know, people think it's just a gag, but rather than just being a gag, it's a magical gag. But then that gives you the misdirection you need and the offbeat that you need to set up for the really magical moment of the routine. And you're going to see this in a second. So let's have a look at this. This is Smiling Mule by Roy Walton. Michael, this is a deck of cards, obviously. I would give them you to shuffle, but I've seen you shuffling, so let's not bother. Instead, we're going to take out the 2 red aces. So we're going to take out the ace of diamonds and the ace of hearts, those 2 aces there. Okay. And what I want you to do is you're going to think of a card. And when you think of a card, I'm going to try and make your card appear in between the 2 aces. And I'm not kidding. We're going to put the 2 aces right there in the middle of the deck. So you can see they are the only 2. They're right next to each other. There's nothing in between them. No ambiguity here. Nothing weird going on. They really are just the 2 red aces right there in the middle. But I'm going to make you name. You're going to name a card, and your card is going to appear right there in between those aces. How cool would that be?
That would be very cool.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? So I want you to watch. I'm even going to do this. I'll do this face down. Watch, I'm just going to flip them over like this. There's the 1 ace. There's the 2nd ace. So are you ready?
Yeah.
In the middle, name a card.
10 of spades.
10 of spades. Watch, if I just give the cards a twist like this, do you know what happens? The 10 of spades appears in between the red aces. Would that be good?
That would be very good.
And do you know how I know the 10 of spades has appeared in between the red aces? I know because now we put them into the middle of the deck, didn't we?
Yeah.
But now the ace of diamonds is on top of the deck. The ace of hearts is on the bottom of the deck. The aces are magically transported to the top and the bottom, which means that your 10 of spades has to be in between the aces because every bloody card is in between the aces. Don't look too impressed by this, but every card is in between the aces, so your 10 of spades has to be there. They magically jump to the top and the bottom.
That's still impressive.
It's still impressive, but it's not the trick you were looking for, is it?
No.
I can tell. I can tell the tinge of disappointment. I can tell when somebody is slightly disappointed but doesn't want to say anything. I'm married. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Look, I'll leave the aces on the top and the bottom of the deck, right? And I'll see if I can do this. Do you see the ace of hearts on the bottom right there? Yeah? Do you see the ace of hearts on the bottom, Michael? Watch, if I just do this, the ace of hearts vanishes off the bottom of the deck. And the ace of diamonds vanishes off the top of the deck. And the reason is you look down in the middle of the deck and there's the 2 red aces right there with 1 card in between them, Michael. And that is your 10 of spades.
What?
Is that your confused face?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So there you go. That's Smiling Mule by Roy Walton. It's a fantastic trick. It really is. It's one that's very, very commercial. Now, various different people have got various different handlings. To be honest, I learned it years and years and years ago, and I think the way that I do it now is slightly different to how it was written up. But you get the idea, right? Let me give you a few positives of this. First of all, it's a shuffle deck of cards in use, which is always good. Secondly, again, the pass is done in a very clever way. Sometimes routines, I've seen routines in the past where, you know, the pass is done and you don't need to do the pass. There's a million different ways that you could do it and it didn't need a pass. With this, the pass, both times that you do the pass, it's needed in the routine to make the routine work. Yeah, it's just a perfect move to do in order to set up what you're wanting to achieve. Let's talk about a few other advantages. As well as that, it really is a free choice of any card. They can choose any card. There is no force. And it's really nice when you can have somebody name a card and you're not putting any limitations on it at all. And you're left with, obviously, the aces and the selected card, which is a great position to be in because you can then go into a longer sandwich routine if you want to. This makes a really good lead into a sandwich routine because if you think about it, the aces have caught the selected card. So now you can kind of go into a longer sandwich routine and add extra phases if you want to, and it makes a nice transition piece, or you can keep it very clear with just that one particular routine. It's up to you. Either way, it's a great trick and you should learn it. If you don't do it, it should be one that you definitely add to your repertoire. And if you are a mem deck user, have a look into doing Smiling Mule with a mem deck because it allows you to, rather than spread through the deck face up, it allows you to spread through the deck face down, which adds another layer of deception. Okay, so the final routine using the pass that you might not have seen before is a routine of mine, but it's based very heavily on the final phase of the male, Deadlier Than the Male by Jeff Latter. Now, I did a Hidden Gems on Deadlier Than the Male by Jeff Latter a few weeks ago. It is a routine that you can learn from Spectacle by Stephen Minch, and it's a progressive sandwich routine. The final phase is the progressive sandwich routine. Now, what I love performing Deadlier Than the Male, it's a really cool trick. And what I've done with this particular routine is I've combined basically the same technical way that they use to do the progressive sandwich. I use it to actually do a slow motion ace location routine. Now, I'll tell you exactly when I do this as well. It's normally at the end, and I don't always do this routine. It's only when I get hassled to teach people how a particular type of trick is done. So once I've done an ace production, or once I've done maybe a spectator cuts the aces, or I cut the aces, or some way of actually making the four aces appear, if people are saying, how did you do that? Tell me how you did that. I really want to know how you did that. Please tell me how you did that. What I'll do is I'll go into this trick and I'll say, well, you know what? Sometimes, different magicians do use different methods to actually do this. Sometimes people use sleight of hand. Sometimes people have, like years of practice, whatever it may be. I actually have a special deck of cards, and the jacks or whatever cards I'm going to use allow me to find the aces anytime, anywhere, which sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to prove it to you. And then I go into this trick. So I don't do it all of the time, but when I do it, it's done for a particular purpose, and it's very magical. It's a great follow-up to an ace location trick. So let's have a look at it first of all, and then we've had a look at it, we'll talk about why it's so good. And we're going to take out the four aces from the deck. And have you ever seen me do a trick where I find the four aces magically in some incredible way?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you kind of how to do that the easy way, because a lot of the time it's quite difficult. I'm going to show you the easy way to do it. We'll take out the two black kings. Now, the two black kings are two of the most magical cards in the pack. And those black kings, you can use them to literally make magic happen, because they have a natural affinity to the aces, which means that they always will seek out the aces no matter where they are. Now, I know you think I'm talking bollocks, so I'm going to prove it to you. We're going to put one of the aces, the ace of, the first ace goes right there on the top. Second ace goes right there on the bottom. Now you take the aces and you turn them face down. And we're going to put them right there into the middle of the deck. So you put them right there into the middle. Is that fair?
Yes.
So we've got the one king on the top of the deck, we've got the other king on the bottom of the deck, and we've got the aces somewhere in the middle where you decided to put them, right?
Yeah.
Watch this. If I just do this, what happens is the kings vanish off the top and they vanish off the bottom at the same time. And the reason is the one king goes down in the deck, the other king moves up in the deck. You see, what they're trying to do is they're trying to locate those aces. So they've eliminated all those cards, they've eliminated all those cards. They know that the aces are somewhere in between here. I'll do it again so you can see it happen. Watch, all I have to do is twist and the kings disappear again. And the reason they disappear is because now, down in the middle of the pack, they found 4 cards. They have settled on 4 cards and 4 cards only. And not only have they settled on 4 cards, they've settled on the 1, 2, 3, 4 aces.
Voodoo.
Voodoo. Voodoo.
Magic.
Yeah, magic, voodoo, witchcraft, Satanism, I don't know. So there you go. If you have Spectacle by Stephen Minch, you can actually learn this by, it's a slight technical variation of the Jeff Latter trick from there. Several advantages. First of all, you don't need a table for this. There's not really any angles to consider. As long as you're aware when you do the pass that there's nobody to the side of you, then you're absolutely fine. It's not that difficult to do. Other than the pass, it's not that difficult to do. And it really has a certain clarity. When the jacks apparently are going inwards to find the selected cards, people, they kind of see what's happening and they just can't believe it. So it makes like I said before, it makes a great follow-up to a 4-ace production or a 4-ace location to then follow up with this particular routine. And if you think about it, at the end, you've got 2 jacks and you've got 4 aces, which means that if you wanted to, you could then go into something that uses those 6 cards. You could take another 2 jacks out and go into a reset type routine or something like that. It allows you to transition really nicely from one routine to the other. So there you go. That's the 3rd trick using the pass that you haven't seen before. So there you go, guys. That's another magic stuff in the bag. Another 3 tricks that you've never seen before in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as normal, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. If you haven't already gone and joined the NETRIX, please do so. It's only $14.99 at bronze membership, and you will have access to literally hundreds of tricks. I'll be back again soon. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.